If a man gonna let you know that they do not want the luggage, that they being left down your canal when they was crossing and migrating back and forth, if a man gonna let you know they don't want that, beloved, take them babies to Jesus. He's a good father. Hello, welcome back to Bennystake. I'm your girl Benny, and we back in the living room. We back in the living room because we're watching Blue Therapy. It's a new show, y'all. I seen a couple of clips and I was like, dang, this up my alley. Okay, there's some things that as a woman of God I can weigh in on, okay? And I done ask y'all said, please go ahead and review Blue Therapy. So we are reviewing Blue Therapy. I want to say again, I will not be reviewing Age of Attraction. That is something that people have, commented either on Instagram. People have commented on Instagram as well as over here on YouTube for me to do Age of Attraction. That is a show I will not be, reviewing. Absolutely not. It's certain things that I don't feel okay about giving an audience to, right? Like it's certain things that I don't want to amplify. I just don't want to do it. It's just the clip that I saw, it was a young lady that was like 20 something. I think she was like 20 or 22 or something. And the man gonna be like, I'm in my 30s, but that ain't no problem for me. Beloved, it should be a problem to you. As a 30 something year old man, you have no business dating no 20-year-old. I don't care if it's, if it's legal, okay, because they're an adult technically, but like a 20-some-year-old is a baby, and a baby needs to go ahead and date other baby because, like I said in the past, when a baby is a baby, the baby is a baby. Okay, so babies got to come together and figure some things out and grow up together. Okay, and ain't no young girl need to be down there dating Abraham Lincoln. Absolutely not. We not gonna promote that. I feel like Netflix, they're just taking us every which way. And I have free will. That is not a show I'm gonna be promoting. So we're gonna be talking about Blue Therapy because Blue Therapy, it highlights relationships, it highlights like real dynamics that a lot of people are going through. And I feel like we could learn from it. We could hee, we could ha, we could judge the people. Hey, I be judging. I don't know about y'all, but I be judging. So if you haven't yet, please go ahead and subscribe. It's what I'm trying to let y'all know. I'm not gonna be before y'all long. Okay, I really mean it. I cannot be before y'all long because they're still doing construction over my house. So subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you always know when I upload. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm not sure the format, if I'm gonna do like 1 to 2 episodes, or if I'm gonna do like one episode at a time. Y'all know I be talking, so we're gonna figure out how we're gonna do it, and we're gonna let it do what it do. Okay.
Let's get started, man.
So they don't open the scene, and you have a guy over here, and he has hair, but I feel like over here he done put a little charcoal. You know how they be trying to like darken their hair a little bit, the little hair cirage that they be using. That's a problem. That hairline done told me everything I needed to know. Okay, the dark color on right here done told me this is about to be a very unserious man. Immediately, very unserious.
It's been the nearest thing to heaven.
Then this man gonna be on some like, oh, she the nearest thing to, or whatchamacallit, to heaven on earth. Beloved, that means this baby about to drag you. Did this baby been dragging that lady all this time? Because one thing about men that want you to go ahead and be their peace, okay, they gonna make your life be a chaotic mess while at the same time demanding and asking you to go ahead and be the peace amongst the chaos that they created. Okay, this is a different couple. They're showing the little, yeah, watch the show. They're showing a little clips here and there. I'm not gonna play with Netflix at all. Absolutely not. I'm not gonna get no strike. I'm not gonna do nothing. Editing be dragging my behind, so I'm not gonna. But yeah, like this baby gonna be like she the closest thing to heaven on earth. Then why y'all at the therapist's office? If she's heaven right here on earth, the earth is ghetto and she gonna be heaven, why are y'all on my screen?
After the first date, I felt this girl was the one for me.
And you're gonna have this other man gonna talk about how like, oh, after the first date, I knew that she was gonna be my girl. Beloved, were you unhoused? Because love at first sight, that's for the homosexuals. Okay, if you ain't got no head bowl, you ain't got no whatchamacallit side table, if your bed on the floor, if your mattress on the floor, you might fall you in love on first sight. That's what be happening.
I think trust is a big issue.
And you gonna have this other man gonna talk about how like, oh, trust is a big issue. So that means he cheated. He cheated and now he's mad that that lady not trying to forgive him and really forget for real like that. Okay, whenever a guy gonna hit you with like, oh, trust gonna be a big issue, 9 times out of 10, that baby been cheated. And they wanna gaslight you and get mad at you for the fact that you still mad at the fact that he done decided to go ahead and cross a canal that wasn't yours. This my first reaction. This my little reaction of the clips that they're playing in the background. We gonna see if I'm right, cause y'all know I stay reaching. I'm down to earth for a reason. I got to. I be reaching all the time.
I want her to be frank with me.
So now you're gonna have this other guy gonna be like, oh, I just need her to be frank with me. Why? What if she ain't wanna be frank? What if she trying to be a Jessica? Juliana? Like, if you want somebody to go ahead and be frank with you, go ahead and find you a Frank. Why everybody gotta be frank? What if I'm a Benny? I'm not trying to be no Frank. Go ahead and find Frank so that Frank can go ahead and be frank. What the hell is... Y'all, what the hell is going on? Leave that lady. Okay, if she lied about some things, I'm in full support. I don't know their story yet because this, again, just the beginning and I'm here yapping. But, like, if she lied about some things, I believe she was within reason. Okay? She was within her reason now. So go ahead and find Frank somewhere else because she might be her a Jessica. You never know. You know what I'm saying?
Need to work on our loyalty.
And now you're going to have this lady going to be like, oh, we need to go ahead and work on loyalty. So that means he cheated and you stayed? Because now you ain't got no more twinkle in your eye. This baby done sucked the twinkle up out your eye, beloved. You should have been left. The minute a girl going to be like, oh, we need loyalty, he cheated. And you thought you could just like, forgive and forget. But now you ain't got no more twinkle. It ain't no, I'm looking at this baby, ain't no more twinkle left. Y'all look at this. You don't let that man cross your canal and steal your twinkle, beloved. Where your twinkle at? Let's see if is your twinkle down my couch, cause it's a lot of things that be here. Cause y'all don't be finding it where it's supposed to be. Child, your twinkle ain't here. You know? Do I got me my twinkle, child? Because the way life been dragging me, I'm worried about her twinkle. I might not have me some. Yeah, now? But I put a little blush today. Y'all see my little... Listen, if you can't find your twinkle naturally, go ahead and get you some Juvia's Place, okay? Get you some blush from Juvia's Place. Slap that baby on your face. You're going to find your little twinkle now. Listen, if the twinkle not going to be natural, buy it. Because today, y'all see my twinkle today? Okay, now. I know that's right. Don't do me. It's giving a little twinkle. I'm not going to lie to you. I use that little Juvia's Place blush. And then I use the Danessa Myrix, the one, the little, it's like a powder, but it ain't no powder. You just put it on the face, and it's like, it evens out your tone and the things. I use that, and then I use the Juvia's Place, for the little blush. Listen. It's giving a little twinkle now. It's giving a little twinkle. I ain't woke up with it now, but I slapped a little twinkle on my face. That's what our good sis need to know. Okay? This what that means. Comment down below and let me know. As soon as we're gonna talk about we need to work on loyalty, that baby cheated. And you stayed. And I bet you had your long paragraph down there on Valentine's Day talking about how, like, oh, we've been through some ups and the downs. It's me and you against the wall. He cheated. That's why you ain't got no twinkle now. Amen.
You think your mum is a bit jealous?
Why the mama jealous? Like, yo, this little preview is doing the most. Why the mama jealous? Okay, and then he don't want no kids.
I don't want to have kids right now, Carmen.
The therapist gonna ask like, well, why y'all here then together? And I'm like, yeah, well, why y'all here together? This show is about to drag me through the mud, huh?
Why are you two even together?
This show is about to take me on a whole roller coaster of emotion, like with my blood pressure medication, because at this point, I might need me to go ahead and get me some. This is already the previews. It's giving y'all gonna drag me on my screen. Y'all gonna raise my blood pressure. Why y'all made me wanna? Why y'all asked me to review this here show? Like y'all know how I get. My Lord, why y'all on my screen? The mama jealous and he don't want no kids. Why y'all on my screen? Hello? And so now we meet, call her Daisy and Joseph. That's now, call him Jesus' stepdaddy. So now the two of them, they've been together for 3 years and plus, and they got them a daughter that's like 1 year old, right? They don't let us know that they fell in love with each other over looks, and her only thing is like, okay, they need to work on the communication. Things are kind of like not working the way it's supposed to work.
Yeah, literally.
Not the baby gonna turn 1 yesterday, and today you guys are at the therapist's office. What's going on? What the hell?
A lot has happened. Obviously, it's
A lot has happened, and obviously it's our first time being parents. What has happened, beloved? Did this the therapist couch? Please let us know. A lot has happened, like what? Y'all gotta be specific. If y'all gonna raise my blood pressure, at least I need to know why my pressure gonna be high. Don't have me out here guessing.
I feel like I'm just really struggling to forgive him.
What he did? You can't forgive him because he done added the Lord cirage. Remember the guy that I was telling y'all in the beginning that had the cirage on his face over here? Y'all know what cirage is? I keep saying cirage. And do y'all know what cirage is? Back in the day, at least in my country, to shine your shoe, it used to be this little dark thing that you would shine your shoe. I don't know what it's called in English. I only know it's called cirage. It looked like this would be done added cirage to his hair right here. Is that why you can't forgive him?
For his lack of support when I first gave birth.
Ah. This baby not supported you when you done gave birth. How? Her poom poom just gave life. Why you not gonna support her after her poom poom just gave life? What's going on? Hello? Joseph, that ain't Jesus' stepdaddy. Why you ain't support our good sister Daisy when her poom poom just gave life?
I did what pretty much every dad should be doing.
But your best wasn't enough.
How?
So he gonna say he gave his best, and our good sister Daisy gonna be like, that wasn't your best. Okay, because your namesake, right? Jesus' stepdaddy, he gave more than his best. And Mary, our good sister, the virgin, she was very happy. When my poom poom just gave life, I did not feel supported by you. What that gonna mean? What he ain't did? Was he playing video games? Because I done seen a video where you had the daddy gonna have his friend in the room. When the woman just gave, like her poom poom just gave life. And then the daddy was on the side playing video games. Is that what Siraj did? Is that what Joseph, that ain't Jesus' stepdaddy, is that what he did when your daughter was born? In a manger? Like, what's going on?
The day after I gave birth, he went to get this lovely tattoo.
Ah! So the day after her poom poom just gave life, you got Joseph, that ain't Jesus' stepdaddy, Siraj. He done went down there to go ahead and get him a tattoo. A tattoo. Her poom poom just gave life. And you wanted somebody to draw on you? Y'all, I had to let the construction people in, so let's continue. Where did we leave off? So this baby done went to get him a tattoo. When our good sis, her poom poom just gave life. Her coochie was throbbing, and you decided to go ahead and get drawn on as a man of God. Joseph, that ain't Jesus' stepdaddy.
Even if I hated somebody, I wouldn't be brave enough to do that.
That is a stretch, man.
Anyways, continue.
That is a stretch. How is that going to be a stretch? The only stretch that occurred was from her poom poom. Her poom poom stretch. And you decided to go ahead and get your tattoo on. She going to be like, even if I hated somebody, I would never do that to somebody. Literally. Right? Like the day after you give birth, you feel like you've been beat up. Quite literally.
queen.
And
Yes,
this
you
is
do
this
have
is
to
what she
lift
does,
the
yeah.
finger.
She'll make it seem
Just because
like,
there's midwives there,
please
that
stop
doesn't mean.
interrupting, because you
No,
get bare
because-
vexed when
Please stop interrupting. Mind you, he's the one that interrupted first. He gonna talk about how, like, it was gonna be midwives over there that was helping you. It was gonna be all these different people that was helping you. It doesn't matter. She don't know them people. And also, your daughter don't know you. What are we talking about right now?
what did I miss out within those 4 hours that I was gone?
Ah, what did I miss out in these 4 hours that I was gone? And I'm gonna pause. He gonna say any milestone or anything major. Joseph, that ain't Jesus' stepdaddy. Are you mad? This man literally looked at this lady and asked her what milestone or big events that he done missed. Let me tell you something. I was in the room when my sister gave birth to her first child. Those early moments are a lot on the woman, right? Like, you missed out on the opportunity to support her, on the opportunity to go ahead and, like, navigate those first few moments of the baby with her. Because this is her first time being a parent too. She don't know what to do. She don't know how to deal with a newborn. You don't know how to deal with a newborn, right? You are meeting your child for the first time. And that's your opportunity to connect with your child and connect with the woman that done gave you a whole child. Especially as Black women too, like, whenever it comes time to, deliver, like, it's a lot of things that can go wrong. It's a lot of things that can go wrong, period, when it comes to childbirth, right? But, like, mortality rate for Black women in childbirth, it's a lie. It's a lie. During pregnancy or immediately after, something can happen. You need somebody in your corner to go ahead and defend you. You need somebody in your corner to go ahead and advocate for you. Make sure that things are done properly, the way it should be done. You need somebody present to support you mentally, emotionally, physically. What if she has to go ahead and pee, but she didn't want to, go ahead and go with the nurses? You are there to do that. Help her walk to the bathroom, bring her back, bring her food, massage her feet. It's a lot of men that don't realize how deadly childbirth can actually be. And that's so annoying, because the reality is we forget that sometimes women die as a result of childbirth. During childbirth or immediately after, things can happen. Preeclampsia. Is it preeclampsia? It's pre is before now. Eclampsia. Eclampsia will kill you. Preeclampsia. Some of the eclampsias. Things can go wrong, and a lot of Black women are neglected in the health department, period, right? But, like, in those moments you're vulnerable, like, her pum pum is throbbing. What do you mean, what milestone did you miss? Like, she carried the child for 9 months, right? So to some extent, the child knows her, but your child don't know you. They don't. So that's your chance to actually connect with them. That's your chance to actually, bond with them. That's your chance to carry them, do that, like, do that skin to skin. So that they feel like, your heat, like your whatchamacallit, how you smell, like, your voice, like, so that they begin to bond with you. You couldn't cancel that appointment, huh? And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, and this not even me being judgy. I don't believe that this behavior came out of nowhere, right? If we're being honest, like, this man showed you signs of him not really caring about you, but you did not pay enough attention. Because ain't no way this gonna be the kind of guy that's gonna leave to go ahead and get a tattoo, and that be the first time that you notice that kind of, like, neglectful behavior from him to you. That can't be the first time. Comment down below and let me know. This man don't like you. This man wanted to go ahead and get a tattoo so that he can have an excuse, right? When it comes time to caring for the child, so that he can be like, oh, like, my arm hurts too. Like, you're not the only one in pain. Like, my arm hurts too. Go ahead and change it up, but go ahead and, like, this man don't care about you, and beloved, therapy not gonna fix this. Even Jesus, okay? Now, his name's gonna be Joseph, but that's not Joseph's stepdaddy. But even Jesus, the Son of God, real sweet Black Jesus, not finna go ahead and fix this. This man don't care about you. And therapy can fix care. Lack of care, therapy can fix it. Okay, therapy can fix that. You need to be gone in Jesus' name. And before I play too, like I'm thinking about the timeline, right? They've been together 3+ years. So that means, if we count at least a year of like, say the pregnancy or so, and then, by the time, the baby is now like 1 year old. So technically, she got pregnant at least a year and some change, under 2 years of them being together. Comment down below, let me know. That's not enough. That's not enough time for me to go ahead and collect enough data for me to go ahead and let you go ahead and cross my canal, leave your luggage, only to pick it back up 9 months later. That's not enough. That's not enough for me. I'm sorry. That's not enough time. Like, I've not seen you throughout different seasons. I've not seen you through a lot for me to go ahead and make that decision. I can maybe understand, say like they have, another child, right? And, after the delivery, after the birth, it's like, okay, let me go ahead and step out and check in on our other child, make sure that they got what they need. I can understand that, right? Because it's like, okay, you got the newborn, I'm going to go ahead and handle, the other child. Say maybe, you left them with a family member, whatever the case is. I can understand that in that scenario, which typically a lot of people, they have already, they have a plan in place to care for, the older siblings whenever a child is born. Who gonna watch such and such? When homegirl is over there giving life with her pum pum, like who gonna watch, I'm saying, like low Bobby. Perhaps let's say you hired a nanny for like the older siblings. You wanna like relieve them and be like, okay, you go ahead and go. I can check in on our child. It's always gonna be a reason that, makes sense. A tattoo, it don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. And in the beginning, she's gonna talk about how like, okay, I need this man to go ahead and learn what it means to be a family man. Yes, you can learn how to navigate making decisions as a family, but to care about your family, to care about the woman, right, that done gave you a child through her pum pum that gave you life, that gave your child life, that you cannot teach. That level of care, it has to be intrinsic. It has to be intrinsic. She literally gonna come in and be like, you missed out on the opportunity to make me feel supported. And he gonna be like, oh, you was out there sleeping and having fun. Beloved, is you slow or is you dumb? Which is it? Let's check. But perhaps your last brain cells done got lost behind my couch. Because one thing about me, if I find it, I'm going to go ahead and mail it to you. What do you mean she was having fun? Her pum-pum just gave life. Do y'all realize how exhausting that can be on a woman? Do y'all think it's a game? Like, literally. Now I'm going to say this, and this might be an unpopular opinion. Even when you have, it is my opinion, that even when you have the best support system in a man, right? Your partner, however the case, it could be your boyfriend, your husband, your fiance, your whoever. Even if that's the best man you know, realistically speaking, children belong to their mothers. Right? Already, like children, they're going just like attach to their mothers naturally because their mothers carry them. So as a dad, you have to do a lot more, right? To introduce yourself, to insert yourself in your child's life. You have to do a whole lot more because they don't know you. They literally don't. So within that 4 hours, that could have been time for you to go ahead and carry your child, skin to skin, change their diaper, talk to them, sing to them, or whatever the case is. Even if you were tired, sleep next to your partner so that you guys are there together. This man literally gonna sit over here and talk about, oh, you were sleeping and having fun. Coochie expansion is fun now? Like your coochie expanding. Okay, after hours and hours and hours of you, going through like, contractions and whatnot, you think that's fun? You think that's fun? And then as she's trying to talk, here he comes interrupting again. What? Lord, oh my God. She gonna be like, I don't feel supported in this relationship. And he gonna jump in and be like, oh, it's your feelings, but feelings are not facts. And then the therapist gonna happen and be like, first of all, pump the brakes. She ain't said that, but that if I was a therapist, that's what I would have been, me said. right? Like her feelings may not be facts, but they're still her feelings and they must still be explored. They must still be heard. They must still be heard. You have to see through and explore the feelings of her not being supported. And it doesn't take a scientist to go ahead and discover and collect the data to figure out that leaving your partner 4 hours, not 4 hours, the day after for 4 hours to go ahead and get a tattoo is one of the dumbest things you could do as a person. Literally. She gonna be like, she brands everything I do for me as selfish. In that moment, you were being selfish. Gonna talk about how like, oh, I ain't had me a baby. It's not like my body went through anything physical, like why I had to go ahead and stay. And she gonna jump in and be like, you did have a baby. Even though you didn't push them out because men cannot, you still did have a baby. This is our daughter. But the crazy thing is, this man is saying the quiet part aloud. Like I just said, children tend to belong to the mothers. The children literally belongs to the mother, where the guy gets to hop in, okay, do a little 1, 2, 1, 3, take a couple pictures, maybe hold them for like a little bit, but like the weight, the responsibility, the load of children almost always fall on the women. Naturally, it's supposed to be like that because, again, children have that bond with their mothers, right? But with a present and a supportive partner, you can create somewhat of a shared responsibility, even though it will never be the same because, again, children are just going to cleave to their mothers. But this man is saying the quiet part out loud. I ain't did nothing. You the one that pushed the baby. That's your child. Hello? That's your child. You gave birth to that child, and realistically speaking, for the rest of your life, the changes that will happen will affect you more than it will me. And honestly, I don't give a damn. That's what this baby is literally just saying. Comment down below and let me know. You carried the child for what, 9 months? Beloved, that was your training, okay? That was the training that you had to go ahead and go through because this child gonna be your problem for the rest of your life. I'm gonna pop in every now and again, but like this is your responsibility. Hence why you carried it for 9 months. You got the training. I don't. You gave birth. I did not. It is so backwards, and I'm just kind of like, ladies. And again, I'm not trying to like blame this woman at all, but like we really have to think critically about who we let have kids with us. Who's calling? Lord. Okay? We really have to think critically. We really have to think twice about the partners that we decide to have children with because of men like this who gonna let you know that, beloved, that's your child. I am a child of God, okay? I am a child of God, but this child gonna be your child. In Jesus' name, because I got me a tattoo appointment. I got me a tattoo appointment. And guess what? After the tattoo, I don't have no tattoos, but it has to heal. You have to take care of it. You have to tend to it. I'm going to prioritize the things that I think are valuable that I'm going to go ahead and tend to. This child is valuable to you. This child is for you. Therefore, you need to go ahead and come up with a plan to figure out how you're going to navigate this child. We all around this, but the reality is that children belong to their mothers. And this guy is saying the quiet part out loud. Now what the therapist going to ask, like, so was the baby planned and everybody is on mute? What that mean? So y'all ain't planned for this baby? Beloved, he done booked him a tattoo appointment and kept it regardless. You should have booked you that clinic appointment, okay? And kept it no matter what the feelings was in the time being. You should have been kept that clinic appointment the same way he done kept that tattoo appointment. I don't care what nobody says. Okay, literally, and this is not me trying to promote, people, putting themselves right in harm's way. I'm not trying to promote that at all. However, come a period, a baby is not a PS5. A baby is not like a necklace. It's not like a gift that you can go ahead and return. If a man gonna let you know that they do not want the luggage, that they being left down your canal when they was crossing and migrating back and forth, if a man gonna let you know they don't want that, beloved, take them babies to Jesus. He's a good father, okay? You're a good father. It's who you are. It's who he is. He gonna see about them kids. He gonna provide. He gonna protect. He gonna serve. He gonna defend. He gonna heal. He gonna do all of the things to them kids. Take that. Those are children of God. Okay, if a man lets you know he ain't trying to have them kids that he done left down your canal, beloved, take them to Jesus. All right, take them to Jesus. Them is children of God. Hallelujah. Okay, blessed be the fruit. Those are children of God. At that point, those are children of God. You go down there to the clinic and make sure them gonna be children of God. Safely, that is. When we talk about having choices, you have to really think about these things because it's gonna come a point where you ain't got no choice. Once the baby is here, you no longer have a choice. But it's a point. It's a point throughout the journey of the life creation that you still have a choice to make different choices. In the hands of God, they always gonna be safe, beloved. They always gonna be safe.
Guys done me so dirty. Honestly,
That is bullshit, though.
response is a lack of understanding.
So I had to play this back so that you guys can hear this part. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't missing anything, right? So the therapist gonna ask, is there resentment? And he gonna jump in and be like 100% yes, like daily. She gonna jump in and be like, there's resentment because there's literally lack of understanding. And as we're sitting over here and watching him, you can literally see his unrepentance. He still got an attitude about the fact that she's mad about the fact that he decided to go ahead and get him a tattoo, okay, the day after she was still at the hospital and then gave birth to their baby. The lack of remorse is evident. Like he's mad at her for not getting over it. There's no getting over that if that's your attitude. Like she can't get over it with your lack of remorse, with your lack of like understanding. You're still arguing her down on like, oh, I ain't the one that gave birth. I ain't the one that was physically blah blah. You still arguing her down. So there's no way she's gonna like move on from it. Of course, resentment is inevitable. Every day she's gonna remember that because whenever you guys are talking about it, this your attitude. Unrepentance. No remorse. Like is the remorse here? Like remorse. Like, is the remorse here? Because clearly it's not in the room where y'all are at.
It was just a matter of my guilty conscience. Okay. So
it was a matter of a guilty conscience, beloved. That grace is sufficient for a reason. That grace is sufficient for a reason. You have your guilty conscience, go down there in your prayer closet. The man don't want to have a baby. You book the appointment down there at the clinic. Y'all not being honest with yourselves now. David down there in the Bible done killed all the people. Okay? And that man was still the man after God's own heart. He done killed the people and then went down there and started dancing and praising the Lord. All right? Like we got to use up that grace now. We got to use it. When I read that story, I realize I'm not sinning enough. Okay? I'm not sinning enough. Well, what guilty conscience? What are we talking about? I get it. But also, beloved, because she's going to talk about how, like, oh, he was adamant about not having a baby. If a man going to be adamant about not having a baby, you book the appointment. You do so.
I just didn't have the heart to... I didn't think I was going to cry.
She gonna be like, she didn't have the heart to do it, beloved. You do it, and then you go down there to the church and ask for the Lord to cleanse and renew your heart. The same way he did David, the same way he did Paul that being killed, the actual children of God, not the concept of a child. The actual children of God. Saul, before he was Paul, he done actually killed, okay, the children of God. So you book that appointment down there at the clinic, and once you're done, you go down there to the church and ask the Lord to go ahead and renew your heart and give you a new heart. Okay? Like, y'all are not sinning enough for me. Why the grace gonna be sufficient if y'all not gonna use it? Why the grace gonna be sufficient if we're not gonna use it? It's sufficient for a reason. You didn't have the heart. Bless your heart. Go down there and ask the Lord to renew your heart. right? But I'm glad you have your child. Let me jokes aside. I'm glad you have your child. I'm sure that child has brought you so much joy now that she's here. But during that time, it was some option. It comes to a point where the option was no longer on the table because she was talking about how he wasn't ready, I wasn't ready either. But it came a point where it wasn't even about us being ready or not. Like the child had to be, essentially the pregnancy had to carry on because that window probably we missed it. Right? It was probably going to be unsafe. And at that point, it's like, okay, we can't do this no more. Right? I get it. I'm sure, your child is beautiful and I'm looking at her gorgeous girl. But, ladies, as a general rule, right? Because we can't undo nothing. We can't undo nothing for them. But as a general rule, beloved, okay, you make the appointment. Thank you. You make the appointment. My husband done brought me food. You make the appointment and then you go down there to the church, okay, and seek the heart of God because He gonna give you a new heart. That's exactly what you do in Jesus' name. The Christians gonna drag me, but my poom poom not gonna give life to a man that don't wanna have the life be given to them. We're not gonna do that.
We were broken up. Daisy called me out of nowhere.
Mm-mm. 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 I gotta finish doing, but Well, what you mean y'all was broken up? So with the 3 years, we got to go ahead and calculate and carry and do some numbers. So y'all wasn't even together when you found out the luggage was down there in your canal, beloved. Hey. Mm-mm.
I was already moving on with my life. I was just trying to...
He gonna be like, I was already moving on with my life, and the therapist gonna ask, I'm pausing, you were out of the relationship already. And I'm guessing he gonna be like, yes, at that point, we had broken up and I was carrying on with my life. So beloved, what were you hoping for? Were you hoping that the child would kind of bring him back? What?
To keep you here.
No.
Because if that's the case, you can S out right now.
That's not what...
Okay. So she gonna cry for I ain't kept no child to keep you over here. Because if you think that I kept the child to keep you here, you can go ahead and be gone right now. Right? But also you guys were broken up. The optics is not giving, right? I'm not saying that was her intention, but also the optics were not giving. Right? He clarifies okay, that's not, I don't believe this now, but at the time he probably thought that. But it's
Did I say that?
That's actually going to...
It could have been heard like that, but I don't.
Mm-hmm. He gonna be like, I ain't said that. Y'all, this sandwich, it's gonna have it a brisket on the inside and an egg. This busing. But he gonna be like, I ain't said that, but no, you insinuated. Because as soon as you said that, what did I do? I came over here and I was like, oh. Sis, did you try to think maybe having a baby was gonna go ahead and keep the man? I damn near spilled a little bit of brisket in my own hands. I had to go ahead and handle that. What were we talking about? Okay. I'm back. Y'all, I'm sorry, I'm sorry the back and forth. I'm just handling so many things around the house and whatnot. And, my husband needed me for something. But yes, you may not have said it verbatim, but that's what you inferred.
It just felt quite convenient.
But what is convenient about raising a child with a man you don't like?
What is convenient about raising a child with a man you don't like? So you don't like him? You don't like him?
What's convenient about that?
His face done got sad too. One thing about women, you say one thing, we're going to give you 100 back. Listen, we multiply a lot of things, including insults. So the therapist going to be like, obviously an unplanned, pregnancy going to put pressure in a relationship. But the thing is, they wasn't even in a relationship at the time. So already something that was rocky and divided, you're going to add a whole creation to it. That's just going to make things even worse. Literally, as you guys were trying to rebuild the actual relationship, you then also had to prep for the child. And he going to be like, I'm happy about our child right now, right? But how things went about just made me feel like I was boxed. He made me feel like I didn't have a choice. He made me feel like, my life almost I had to, change in a second like that. Women, you get the 9 months, right? Like while you're carrying the child, you get the 9 months to kind of like prep your minds mentally, and men don't get that. This doesn't mean go ahead and book you a tattoo appointment, right? It's actually the opposite, because you don't get the time since you don't carry the child. When the child is here, you have to work extra hard to almost like not catch up per se, but like to essentially catch up with the mom who already has 9 months of on you with bonding with the child. You have to.
Love my family. I love
Don't
everything
try and
about
sweep
them.
me up.
Do you not
Oh, the therapist gonna be like, so what y'all wanna do now? He gonna be like, of course I love Daisy and I love my family. And she gonna be like, don't try to sweeten me up. She was like, okay, that honey and that sweetening that you're trying to do is for tea. It ain't for me. Don't try to play in my face now.
He will be fantastic. I'm so shocked by that. I didn't know that you felt like that.
So she gonna be like, there are times where he's actually great. He's fantastic, with me. I don't know what your gauge of fantastic is, because as soon as somebody was gonna go ahead and schedule a tattoo appointment, like the greatness, it's no longer here. Okay, the greatness gone out the window. And I promise you, it's not under my couch. I'm not even gonna check. The greatness nothing to be there, right? And so she gonna be like, sometimes I'm confused. We gonna continue, but if you guys hear some noise in the background, just know we're getting work done in the house. So, okay?
Because you never listen to when I'm speaking to you. Like,
He gonna be like, oh, you never listen when I speak to you. Again, maybe it's just me. Maybe because I'm a woman, I'm always gonna see from the woman's perspective. But again, we've noticed your unrepentant. She says it on some like, this guy is like, I'm feeling resentful because of the lack of understanding. If you're not remorseful about what the impact was of your actions, then she can't even move forward to hear you. Right? Like she can't even move forward to hear you if you can't even see the damage that you leaving to go ahead and get a tattoo when she was down there, right? When her pum pum just gave life. Like, you not seeing that as a problem, that already you create a wall where she cannot listen, she cannot hear anything that you're saying. But you have her being receptive on some like, I can understand that. Like, I can understand, like, sometimes I don't receive some of the nice things that he says, because according to her, they have moments where like he's fantastic. Maybe I need to work on my, unforgiveness too, because as soon as you had that tattoo, the fantastic, the amazing out the window.
if you didn't have a baby between you, would you be together?
If you didn't have a baby between you, would you be together? I'm not in their relations. I'm in my own, and evidently I'm not spending enough time minding my relations, and I'm minding these people's relations on my screen from Love is Blind and then these people. But what I'm going to say, I wouldn't be together if it wasn't for the baby. So even though our good sis didn't, make the conscious choice of some like, oh, I'm going to keep this baby so I could go ahead and get him back. Mind you, they was broken off, right? They were not together. She done called him out the blue. Hey, I'm pregnant. Okay, that package you being left down my canal, it is growing now. It's growing. Okay? I am of the opinion that the two of them will not be together. Comment down below and let me know.
Yes.
She gonna be like, yes, but like that yes took 3 to 5 business days. Okay, like I went to Yemen and I came back and she still ain't come up with that yes. Again, you went try to trick this man, you ain't try to get this man back with the baby, but once the baby was here, okay, and if it is true that there are times where he's fantastic when he's not busy keeping his tattoo appointments, if it is true that there are, great parts of him, and let me not even say like if it is true, all of us, we have our good, our bad, and our uglies. Now, my ugly not gonna be, I'm not gonna abandon somebody that I love to go ahead and get a tattoo. That's not where I be at, right? But like we all have flaws. I'm a nice person, I'm a kind person, but it's sometimes where I am mean. I am not the kindest. I'm not the most thoughtful. I'm not the most, like we all have our moments where we are not perfect, for sure. If it is true, again, this guy has moments where he's kind and he takes care of you and you feel supported. Of course, he was going to go ahead and step up and be a daddy to the child that y'all was going to go ahead and have together, hence trying to keep y'all together as a family. So yes, the child may not have been like an intentional on some like, oh, let me go ahead and like keep the baby to keep him. It may not have been that, but like once the baby was here, like he said, I felt like I was put in a box and I ain't had no other choice but to go ahead and be a daddy, even though I was adamant that I didn't want to be a daddy. So if the daughter was not part of the equation, these two would not be together. And that, yes, it took you a long time to get to that yes. Comment down below and let me know.
Do you agree?
She gonna be like, I feel like we would have eventually put our differences aside. I disagree, but the therapist gonna ask if he gonna agree.
Yeah, I do think we would be together.
We would have been together, but again, it's how you went about the situation. Yes, I'm gonna empathize with him a little bit. If having a child is no joke. Having a child, I'm sure, changes your life in ways that you cannot imagine. For the parents down in the comments, comment and let us know, like, how did your life change after having a child? Especially if the child was planned for, right? If you plan for the child, there are still changes. Like, I know with my family, like, my sister, my brother, they have kids. And I could see how their lives changed, even though the children were planned. So now, if you didn't plan for the child, and here comes little Johnny, I'm sure that that can rock your world in a way that you cannot even anticipate. I'm sure it can. I'm sure it can. And as much as it's hard on the dad, it's even harder on the woman, which again brings us right back to you going to get a tattoo was absolutely selfish. You do not care about this lady. You may love her, but you do not like her for real, for real. And again, liking and loving people, them is some two different things. It's a lot of people that I love, I do not like. Okay?
Still harking back to how you got here. Can you hear that?
This therapist, her questions, I'm liking it. And I will say, this is one of the benefits of therapy, because a therapist, who is, well-read, who understands, like, relationship dynamics, they have the ability to almost like bridge the gap between two people, right? It feels like for the first time they're now hearing each other. So she gonna ask, like, now that you guys are here, your parents, you're together, y'all keep going back to how we got here. Y'all keep going back to the moments where, like, hey, I ain't want to have the child. Okay, I don't like how you handle the things. And also you left me when the child was born. When my poom poom gave life, you done left me down there at the hospital with the midwives. Mind you, I ain't had no kids with the midwives. I had the kid with you.
But you're here.
Yeah.
And you want to be.
I love my daughter. Like, I want to be around them. And the losing them.
Again, I'm short and I be reaching, but sometimes after I reach, I land at the right place, right? Follow me. The therapist gonna be like, so you guys are here, but you keep going back to how things, led to you guys being here. But you're here now, and you want to be here on some, like, I'm asking a question, do you want to be here? He gonna be like, yes, I love my daughter. Do you want to be here? Yes, I love my daughter. Not I love Daisy. Because this is not father and child therapy. This is, partner, and this is a partner. This is a romantic therapist, right? Like, this is a relational therapist. Y'all are in a relations and y'all are seeking help together. You want to be here. The first thing that came out of his mouth, I don't know what he's going to say next, but the first thing that came out of his mouth was like, yes, I love my daughter. So as much as they've tried to convince themselves, like, oh, if the daughter wasn't part of the equation, they would still kind of like be together. The reality is they are together now because of the baby. They are together now because of the baby. They're having to sit over here fighting for their lives because of the baby. He's over here fighting, okay, for that siraj to not melt off of his head because of the baby. I'm going to play it back. Maybe I'm reaching, but y'all let me know.
Yeah.
And you want to be.
I love my daughter. Like, I want to be around them. And
You're in this situation and you want to be. Yes, I love my daughter. I want to be around them. Even if he loves Daisy, even if he wants to be with Daisy, Daisy is a secondary, priority right now, because the reality is y'all together because of the baby. Because y'all was broken up when the baby, when y'all had news that the baby was, getting ready to go ahead and when the baby was cooking down there in the oven, that's when y'all was like, okay. Because y'all was broken up before. So that 3 years that y'all been together, we kind of have to like calculate and compute some things. Like, it wasn't like 3 years that consecutively, it was a couple breaks. We were on a break.
when there's a major decision that you don't like, you don't seem to ever be open to speaking about it.
I am really curious as to how the therapist is going to help them navigate this very sentence that he just said. But again, this guy, she told you, I didn't feel supported. You said out of your mouth that, oh, that's bullshit. I am playing it because I can't play everything, but I remember him verbatim. If you watch the show, he interrupted and talked about how, like, oh, that's bullshit. So much so that the therapist had to go ahead and plug herself in and be like, hey, those are her feelings. To which he responded, but feelings are not facts. And the therapist was like, they still have to be heard. Right? So now you're sitting over here talking about how, like, Daisy is the one who never seems open to speaking about things. When she was speaking about the things that being hurt her, you told her that was bullshit. You told her that her feelings are not facts. Maybe she does this elsewhere. But from what we've seen so far from this here episode, you are the one that's not validating how she's feeling. You're calling her feelings bullshit. Maybe she does it as well and we're not seeing it, but from the evidence provided, you're doing it too.
You know that I've got a soft spot for you.
Did you hear what he said?
The therapist gonna be like, okay, did you hear what he said? And before this, he had said, like, I have a soft spot for you. I have a soft spot, for our family. Like, I don't want to lose your blase, blase. So the therapist gonna be like, did you hear him? This is the beauty of therapy, especially for people that don't think therapy can work. If it is true, again, that this woman does not listen and is never open to hearing him speak on things that, like, are important to him or whatever, in this scenario, she's able to listen. The therapist is able to facilitate a conversation where, like, she's checking both of them, like, okay, hold on, let's hear her. Hold on, let's hear him. What are you hearing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, helping, like, mediate the conversation a little bit more.
Did you hear that? But he just doesn't feel heard.
Okay.
So, all right. The therapist gonna be like, he has a soft spot for you, but he doesn't feel heard. Therapist girl, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and push a little bit more. I understand trying to find a way to bridge the gap to encourage both of them to keep sharing, but like also he don't be hearing her. He calls what she's saying bullshit. Okay? So ain't nobody hearing nobody else. They're like, let's see.
I feel like Daisy just needs to learn how to forgive.
He gonna be like, I just feel like Daisy needs to go ahead and learn how to forgive. You need to go ahead and locate your balls and figure out how to prioritize the family that is in front of you, because that's one of her biggest concerns when she done came down there on this here therapist appointment. She was like, he needs to go ahead and know how to be a family man. Okay, you the one that went down there to go ahead and get a tattoo the day after her pum pum done gave life to your daughter. Okay? Okay? And it's not by force. You cannot rush somebody to forgive you when especially you've not shown any remorse. When she's bringing things up, you are calling it bullshit. Don't throw it in her face that she ain't forgave you. Perhaps if you took accountability, perhaps if you sought, repentance, perhaps if you sought to change your behavior, she wouldn't feel the need to keep bringing it up. if you're gonna call her feelings bullshit, if you're gonna keep interrupting her, that's not gonna lead her to forgive you. Okay, forgiveness comes as a result of changed behavior. But first, you have to acknowledge the wrong that was done. Ask for the forgiveness and then change your behavior accordingly. Cause I bet you money, okay, that after the tattoo appointment, you still did some things that had made her feel supported. Comment down below and let me know, but like, you never gonna bully me to forgive somebody that I ain't wanna forgive. Absolutely not. Especially when they're not even showing any remorse. They're not showing any repentance, low key.
I'm not out to get you.
So the session gonna go ahead and end. And watch my call it. She gonna be like, some of the things that we've spoken about in this here session, we've never really spoken about, especially within this context, Again, therapy is helpful for this here, space to just have somebody help you guys navigate what you guys are feeling. I'm enjoying this show so far, but y'all, we are only 12 minutes in. Like, how we gonna do this? Should we? You know what I'm thinking? I feel like because, okay, let me skip because she gonna say that, think about this for our next session. Is the next thing coming gonna be their session or, okay, I'm seeing different faces. So I feel like they're gonna, we're gonna see them maybe in the next episode or maybe towards the end of this episode. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna end this right here. I think that may be the format because the reality is I talk too much. I want to stop at every sentence and just like talk and talk and talk. We're going to be here for 3 hours. And whenever my video mad long, I don't be wanting to edit them. So that's why sometimes rolling out content be so annoying because, again, I'm over editing. And I just drag it for like 3-4 days. So if you haven't yet, please go ahead and subscribe. Is what I'm trying to let you know. Go ahead and turn on the notification bell so that you always know when I upload. I'm going to end this video right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and start the next couple. And that's just like, that's the format we're going to do. I've just decided that's the format we're going to do so that it could be almost like a low maybe like 45 minutes or under. Right? That I can manage. Editing a 45-minute video is manageable than trying to compress a 3-hour yap session into, I don't know, an hour and a half. Yeah, no, that's going to drive me insane. So, subscribe, and I'm going to go ahead and see you guys on the next episode of Blue Therapy. Bye, Z's.